time, Greg Moore sits in this chair and lets other veterans tell their story. Today, that flips. He grew up in a small Illinois town nobody vacations to. Cramped houses, cracked streets, sirens at night. Kids learning way too early how fast life can go wrong. The Army gave him a different life, the infantry. Multiple combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. He went from the streets to Sadr City, to RC East, to long nights wondering if he'd see his family again. And when the uniform came off, the battles didn't. A trucking career, a major accident that changed his body and his plans. Depression, PTSD, and somewhere in the middle of all that, a camera gave him a new way to breathe. Today, he's not the host, he's the story. And this is the story of Greg Moore.
G-Money, what's good? Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us, brother.
Appreciate you for having me, dog.
Okay, so we're going to get right into it.
For sure.
Take me back to being 5 years old. What do you remember about that day? Where were you? What did you see? And what stuck with you the most as a kid?
So at 5, I used to live with my dad and shit, in the Griffin homes. So I remember being outside at night, me and my cousin. My dad was out there, his brothers was out there, and they were barbecuing, talking, drinking like, you know what I'm saying, the old heads used to do. And we look up, this one dude was chasing another dude. And when they got they was running, they ran like right towards where we was at. They were just running on the sidewalk. They running right towards us. And like right as soon as they got like right by our apartment, dog, dude pulled out the gun and shot him right there in front of us. Dude dropped. Boom, I'm 5. You know what I'm saying? So they run over there to, you know what I'm saying, try to help dude. And I run over there too, you know what I'm saying, to see what's going on, because only time I seen something like this was probably in the movies or something like that. So I run over there, see dude gasping for air, you know what I'm saying? I see the blood coming out of his chest. I'm shocked though, and my dad see this, he see me and my cousin over there looking at him. Get in the house! Yes, sir. He made us go in the house, but yeah, I just remember that day because the dude that got killed, he used to be a center out there, and he was like the maintenance man there, you know what I'm saying? So I knew exactly who he was, you know what I'm saying? So I think that was my first time really knowing what death, or not knowing, but experiencing death for the first time.
Right. Okay, so how did seeing something like that at 5 years old change the way you looked at your neighborhood and at adults?
Man, to tell you the truth, movies like Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, those movies was out. So when I seen that happen and I saw it in the movies, I started looking at most adults as people like that, you know what I'm saying? So no cap, I was probably more afraid of adults then, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't related to me. So I ain't really trust adults like that wasn't related to me.
Okay. So growing up after that moment, what did normal look like for you compared to what people think a normal childhood is?
So where we from, when you little, you can't be soft, so you're gonna get punched on. My brothers used to wrestle with us. My cousin used to wrestle with us. I had a cousin when I was that young. I had an older cousin named Milton. You know what I'm saying? And he would randomly make us fight kids out there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It was a normal thing to people out there to just make us randomly fight. And you better not lose. You know what I'm saying? Or you gonna get punched on by him. But that was normal to us. And the generation ahead of us, they used to punch on us too, but it was like a rite of passage in our neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? So every generation probably punch on the younger generation. So that was normal.
Okay. What kind of teenager were you? Were you the athlete, the class clown, the kid always in the office, in the streets, or all the above?
All the above. I don't know why I used to joke a lot in class. Like I used to love school when I was in elementary school. You know what I'm saying? When I didn't really understand what school was. But once I got to understand what school was, I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta sit in class, you gotta sit down, you gotta shut up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like the way they was teaching us. When I was little, I used to want to be a scientist. And when I was started going to school and, you know, taking science, like science was nothing like I was seeing it on TV. You know what I'm saying? Science was boring. So I stopped liking school for real, and I just started becoming a class clown. I used to make people laugh all the time, but I was never a dummy in school. I always got good grades, but I didn't get the best grades because I never really did anything. I used to just take my tests or whatever. So once I got
What made you get into science?
When we was little, I don't know if you remember, when we was little, Back to the Future. You know what I'm saying? And the TV show Back to the Future, and the older dude used to, you know what I'm saying, be making all type of inventions. And then you had TV shows like Family Matters. Steve Urkel used to make all those type of inventions. You know what I'm saying? So when I was little, I used to want to invent something. You know what I'm saying? And once we got to school and they teaching us science, it was nothing like I saw on TV, so I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? So school is boring. Like, I like math, but I hated every other class because that shit was so boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then once we got to high school, I really started acting a fool in class. I'm not even going to class no more. You know what I'm saying? I got it. Start smoking weed then, and I was just like, man, forget school for real.
Right. What kind of trouble were you getting into back then?
Yeah.
Right? Skipping, hanging out with the wrong crowd. What did it actually look like?
Yeah. So I was doing all of that, but when I would get put out of class, man, I don't know why. Like, bro, if people ain't never seen the movie Lean on Me, like, it felt like our high school was like that, you know? So we would do stuff like the teacher would turn his back at the board, you know what I'm saying? We being asshole kids, throwing stuff at the board, you know what I'm saying? Talking back to the teachers. Doing a whole lot of stupid shit, for real, bro. Doing a bunch of stupid shit. But it was more like you had to pick a side once you got to high school. And we was from Washington Park, so everybody from Washington Park hang together. And people from the other side of town, they hang with whatever side of town they from. So once we got into that in high school, man, I was head first in the streets.
So, growing up in Washington Park, do you think that Washington Park is what shaped and molded you as a person?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Where I'm from, most dudes that I know, most kids that I knew, they didn't live in a two-parent household. You know what I'm saying? So most guys I knew, they probably didn't even hang out with their dad. You know what I'm saying? They probably didn't even really know him. So, but we did used to look up to the older guys in the neighborhood, you know, so we doing what they doing. We want to do what they do, you know what I'm saying? The way they get money. So this is normal to us. We don't know anything else. So it was normal. It 100% shaped me, you know what I'm saying? Gave me all my morals, principles, everything.
Piggybacking off people not living in a two-parent household, how was your relationship with your father?
Man, me and my dad, we was cool. We had a cool relationship, but we didn't have a real father-son relationship. You know what I'm saying? He didn't give me anything that I needed at the time. Like, I didn't really know what I was looking for as a young man, but I just know he wasn't giving it to me.
Hey, yo, my nigga.
Yo, the way you said it was crazy.
Okay, so you said you got expelled from the last school that you were in. So was there a moment in your teens where someone tried to warn you, like, if you keep going down this way, it's going to end bad for you? And did you listen?
Yeah, my mom would tell me all the time that they got a place for people like you. You're going to end up dead or in jail. And at the time, I would think it would go in one ear and out the other, but I was actually listening to her. Yeah, I was out doing wrong, but her words stuck in the back of my mind 100%. So my mom tried to warn me all the time.
Okay, here we go. What was the breaking point when you decided I'm joining the Army? Was it the streets, money, family need, and purpose? What pushed you?
All the above. So I was hanging out with the older guys, like I said. And I remember walking up one night and my boy was like, hey man, I got a lick for us. This dude had some weed that he was trying to sell. My boy was like, man, when he come back, we gonna get him. I'm like, bet. So we ended up robbing the dude or whatever. And a few days later, we was hanging out in the same area that we was, the situation happened in. And I remember one of my boys, like, at the time I didn't look at it like it was a big deal, but you know what I'm saying? I can't thank him enough. I cannot thank him enough. But at the time, he told me like, hey man, go get in my car real quick, roll this weed. You know what I'm saying? So I looked at him as a big brother. I didn't question him saying, hey, go do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I went and got in his car and started rolling the weed. And so about 5-10 minutes passed, he come get in the car. He was like, hey man, you see that dude right there? I'm like, yeah. He was like, that's such and such brother. And he got, he looking for you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, shit. Like, I'm all the way out like, I'm head first in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, shit, I was with the shit at the time. So I'm like, shit, bro, he don't know me. Let me see, you got your strap on you? You know what I'm saying? He looked at me like, what? Dude, I'm finna take you home. You know what I'm saying? So at the time, I'm mad because I feel like he should be, you know what I'm saying? He should be, bro, we in the streets. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know what he did for me at that time. You know what I mean? So I went home. I was mad about it. And I was talking to my cousin about what happened. You know what I'm saying? And she was just like, yeah, man, maybe you just need to stay away from there for a while. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I was thinking about joining the military. And she was like, yeah, you should do it. And so, long story short, I started looking into it a little bit more, but I still didn't go do nothing yet.
Okay, so walk us into the recruiter's office. What were you expecting and what actually happened when you got there?
So there was a TV show called Budge that used to be on TV. It's about the Navy SEALs. And so I'm seeing them and the way they talking about them, I'm thinking that's what I want to go do. So first thing I do, I go to the Navy and they was like, I think they told me like, you can't have no tattoos, no visible tattoos. So I was like, man, they was like, you can't have it in the Air Force either, so go try the Marines. You know what I'm saying? So I go to the Marines and the Marines was like, you got to have a high school diploma. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, fuck that shit. And I went back home. I had gave up on it. I'm like, man, fuck it. So when I got home, I had got a call from an Army recruiter. You know what I'm saying? He was like, hey, man, you still interested in joining the military? I'm like, yeah. He, gave me the rundown, told me he was going to come pick me up to bring me to the office. I'm like, all right, bet. He came, picked me up, took me to the office, asking me what I want to do in the military. I didn't really know nothing about it. He told me that I had to take this test to get in. So I'm like, okay. He made me take the test right there, a practice test. And like, I think I failed it or something like, I'm pretty sure I failed it, but I was close or something like that. So he asked me, did I have my high school diploma? I was like, no. He was like, okay, I'm gonna enroll you in a GED program. I'm like, okay. He was like, how soon are you trying to leave? I'm like, ASAP. He was like, all right, bet. The GED program was probably like 30 days or something like that. And when it took my GED, passed that. So the recruiter asked me what job did I want to do. I was just like, man, whoever got the guns, I just want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I think he told me it was the infantry, but I didn't really know what that was. But he showed me this video of these dudes I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? He was like, well, you got to score this amount on your ASVAB. You was this close. He gave me an ASVAB study guide, you know what I'm saying, to go study. And he told me he was going to come back in a couple days to take the test again. And when I came back, I passed the test. So he's like, all right. He started preparing all the paperwork to take me to this place called MEPS.
Okay, so you get to Fort Benning. Like, soon as you get off the bus and your feet hit that soil, like, what's running through your mind? A kid from East St. Louis, like, what are your thoughts at that moment?
So, first of all, I had never been away from home by myself. I was nervous. And when we got the 30th AG, I thought the basic training started that day. We got our basic issue. Yeah, they gave us everything that we needed. They gave us an IET handbook. And once they gave us our uniform, they went and took us to our beds. And they told us that we had to put on our uniform the next day. So we show up with our uniforms on. We all thinking that we soldiers now. Yeah. I was so homesick. Like, I didn't have no friends there, you know what I'm saying? I'm by myself. Like, bro, I felt so out of place. Like, immediately I felt like I had made a mistake because, bro, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like to me. And we stayed at 30th AG for maybe 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. I think we were there for 2 weeks. And I don't think I made no friends while I was at 30th AG for 2 weeks. I was just calling home every day. Like, we had squads that we was in, but I don't think I made no friends for real yet. That I was like, this my boy. You know what I'm saying? So again, I think we was here about 10 days when I'm thinking like, man, the Army easy as fuck. Like, if this is all we got to do, bro, the Army is easy. You know what I'm saying? But then I started to learn that we not even, basic training haven't even started yet. You know what I'm saying? They was like, bro, you go down range, you know what I'm saying? I think we went down range like on a Monday or something like that. They told us that we was going down range. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going down range? You know what I'm saying? It was like the basic training. I'm like, this ain't basic training? They were like, no, this ain't basic training. Man, you know, we got to go down range or whatever. I'm like, ah, shit.
So your first night, how did you sleep that first night?
Man, I really don't think I didn't sleep that good that first night. I remember in the IET handbook, I bullshit you not, it was like some breathing techniques in the IET handbook. They used to tell you, like, it'll help you sleep. Like, take deep breaths while you know what I'm saying, while you laying there. And I was doing that shit, and I'm talking, bro, I would fall right to sleep after that. But I couldn't just fall asleep on my own. At first, I used to have to do that, but it worked though.
Okay, so day 0 of basic training, from the moment the drill sergeant got on the bus to lights out, how did that day hit you?
Man, that was the day I realized I 100% fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to go home. You know what I'm saying? Bro, we get there. Before we even get there, we at 30th AG. The drill sergeants, our drill sergeants, they show up and they calling all our names to go get on the bus. Now, they not really saying much. They just looking at everybody, but they all quiet for real. So we all getting on there. They tell us to front load our duffel bags. And then we had a laundry bag when we got on the bus. We had to front load, put the duffel bag in our lap, and we had to sit the laundry bag on top of the duffel bag. And so we on the bus, I'm so fucking nervous. They take us they drove us around for about 20 minutes. And then we finally pull up to basic training. Bro, all the drill sergeants was out there lined up, dog. The bus is stopped. And I'm talking about all chaos, bro. We all running off the bus. We don't know where to go for real. We all get in formation. And while we're standing there, they tell us like, hey, hold your laundry bag over your head, but you gotta still keep the duffel bag front loaded. You know what I'm saying? But they going crazy on us though. they tell us all to hold our laundry bags over our head. And I'm just thinking like, bro, what the fuck is, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck is going on? Because they wasn't doing this at 30th AG, bro. You could just take me back there. You know what I'm saying? So, man, they got to call all our names in alphabetical order. And my last name is Moore. You know what I'm saying? And I was in this next platoon, so, bro, I had to wait for like, it was like 55 dudes per platoon. So, my name wasn't called for a while, and I'm struggling to hold this fucking bag up. You know what I'm saying? So, finally call our name to go over there, get in our platoon or whatever. And then they give us another impossible task. Like, this is all as soon as we get there. You know what I'm saying? They give us enough, like, as we run over, when they call your name, you got to run over there, throw your duffel bag down, throw your laundry bag down, and go get in formation. You know what I'm saying? So, once they finally finish calling everybody in formation, they got us all over there standing there. You better not move. You know what I'm saying? You better not get to looking around or none of that. So, once they got done calling everybody, they give, now, all of our bags, I told you, it's 55 of us per platoon. It's 4 platoons. You know what I'm saying? All of our bags are together, and they tell us, oh, we got 30 seconds to go get our bag and get back over here in formation. You know what I'm saying? So,
No.
go. I'm talking, it's a fucking stampede, dog. All of us taking off running. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so fucking goofy, bruh. I'm running. I'm maneuvering, trying to hurry up and go get my shit, because I'm tired of these motherfuckers hollering at us and smoking us and shit. So, I'm trying to hurry up and run and go get my bag, but people moving like they, you know what I'm saying, like they fucking scooting type shit. And I'm running around them trying to get around these motherfuckers, dog. But it was like a fucking sea had parted. Bro, I'm running full speed, but once they move out of the way, it's a fucking pole right there. I run straight into the pole. Boom! You know what I'm saying? Hit the fucking ground. Drill sergeants run over there. Get the fuck up, private. You know what I'm saying? Still get up, go run, go get my bag. I'm limping and shit, bro. We get back over there in formation. They got us pouring our bag out to do a layout and shit. But, bro, they smoking the shit out of us. Constantly smoking the shit out of us. But I done had it at this fucking point.
I'm tired of this shit. Fuckers, I'm sick of fucking tired of this shit.
You know what I'm saying? Bro, I jump up like, I'm tired of doing this fucking exercise. Dog. I'm talking, bro. They lit my ass up, dog. And I'm talking, I never did that again. You know what I'm saying? So, they take us up to our barracks, man. They take us up to our, I think it was our barracks, whatever they want to call it. They take us upstairs, and dog, they smoking the shit out of us. More, like, we don't know anything. We don't know what we doing wrong. They just constantly smoking the shit out of us on day one. Like, we sweating so bad, I'm talking puddles of sweat under us. We getting smoked so fucking bad. And I'm just like, bro, I want to go the fuck home. Straight up.
Damn.
Yeah.
So if you can compare that with them smoking y'all out, like to any movie that's accurate, what would you compare it to?
I ain't gonna call it a movie. It was more of a TV show. If you ever seen Band of Brothers, the way that lieutenant used to just, it was sort of like Band of Brothers when they was first training in the beginning. That's the best way I can explain it. Like, bro, I hated it. Like, I was ready to go home. It took me a while to get used to it.
Give us a funny, basic training story. Something dumb that happened in your platoon that still makes you laugh when you think about it.
Okay, so basic training was like 16 weeks long. And I think we was probably like week 8, week 9 or something like that. Like, I done settled in. Now I got a couple boys. Like, it's easy. We on cruise control now. I understand it a little bit. So, man, now mind you, there's no females in our basic training. It's nothing but dudes. You know what I'm saying? There's 0 females. The only females we see is these fucking lunch ladies. You know what I'm saying? So, we was coming down, like, we had formation. Everybody had formation. The whole company had formation. And we was coming down to formation, and there was this female lieutenant walking by. And I don't know why the fuck I did it. You know what I'm saying? Just being goofy. She walking by and I did some
bracelets and everything. Daddy, you better get the best for me.
Bro, she turned right around and went in there and told. You know what I'm saying? Boom, drill sergeants come out that bitch, bro. They on our ass, bro. They smoking the shit out of us, dog. And who the fuck said it? And everybody being solid, ain't nobody telling. You know what I'm saying? Everybody solid, but them motherfuckers looking at me like, bro, you better fucking tell them you did it. You know what I'm saying? The boy Thornsberry right next to me. As we getting smoked this shit, he like, come on, Moore, tell him you did it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, shut the fuck up, bro. You know what I'm saying? But he was actually right though, so I went on ahead and told the drill sergeant, like, man, it was me, drill sergeant. You know what I'm saying? They was like, they towed my ass up for that. You know what I'm saying? They took me in the office, told me they was finna kick me out the army. You know what I'm saying? I was down bad on my luck behind that goofy shit.
What did your drill sergeant tell you about war? Were they blunt and graphic? Were they trying to scare you, prepare you, or both?
I think both for real. They used to tell us like, some of y'all gonna die when y'all go over there. You know what I'm saying? And I would probably ask, the question that I would ask them is like, hey, how likely is it that all of us gonna go? And they would tell us like, man, if you're active duty, it's 100% chance you going. So it's being blunt about it and telling us that shit, people get killed over there all the time. They was telling us that we had to get on our shit because we was the ones that was gonna be watching their brothers back. So they wanted to make sure they was sending them some, I don't know, some decent privates. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. At what point in basic did it click? I'm really going to war. This isn't just training.
I was still under the illusion that I might not have to go. So it didn't really hit me in basic training that I was going. So I knew it was a chance that I would go, but I thought that I probably wasn't gonna go, so I wasn't sure about it.
So what was your mind like then? Like, were you just on the fence, like, I hope I don't have to go, but if I go, then it is what it is?
It wasn't so much like my mom was on the fence. I was more like, once I had saw that other drill sergeants had been to war and they came back and they was alive and they had all their body parts, it kind of gave me more confidence that, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
Okay. So let's talk about landing in Frankfurt, Germany. Getting off the plane, seeing you're not in the States anymore.
Yeah.
What did that feel like?
I was excited. You know what I'm saying? I was super excited. I just wanted to experience something new, something different. And I remember when I got there, the signs was in different languages and they was different colors. Like, you know, for a fact you're in another country. And that was a shocker to me because I didn't really understand what the signs meant, you know. So I was walking through the airport. I wasn't sure where I was supposed to go. So I was just walking through the airport looking for a USO or something to point me in the right direction. And as I was walking through, I seen another like black dude. He was walking in the airport too, but he had a duffel bag, so I kind of figured we both were soldiers, you know. So we did the universal to each other, you know what I'm saying? Once we did that, we started talking to each other. And man, when I tell you, dog, I asked bro, like, you know where we supposed to go?
Oh no, man. I woke up ready, man. I got a call right after I got dressed. They was coming to pick me up at 9:30 in the morning. I told them I'm gonna be ready.
Like, bro, what? You know what I'm saying? That nigga started laughing. He told me he was from Memphis. You know what I'm saying? He's still my boy right now, Blue. He was the first dude I met. As soon as I got there, we got off the airport. He the first dude I met. And so we both lost, so we decided, like, let's be lost together and try to find where we going. And we ended up finding where we was going.
That's what's up. How did you end up in Alpha Company 16 Infantry, and what do you remember about first walking into that unit?
So, again, I was just a dumb private. I don't really know how I ended up there. They just told us to go sign in there, and they was going to point us in the right direction. So, I didn't know what being in Alpha Company 16 Infantry was. I didn't even know what these numbers and letters really meant. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just a dumb private. So, I show up, go to the in processing. They had, man, I cannot remember his name. It was E6 and Alpha Company came and picked us up. Not us, but it was us. It was me and a couple more guys that was in Alpha Company. He came and picked us up and told us like, man, y'all in the best company in the battalion, you know what I'm saying? And he took us to the PX to go get bed sheets and stuff like that for our beds, and he assigned us rooms and let us know that we was on Rear D and that the company was still deployed in Iraq at the time. So I didn't really know what to expect for real because wasn't nobody really there.
So who was some of the first friends you made there, and what kind of bond did you build with those guys?
So the very first person I met was my boy Oglesby. So like I told you, they assigned us our rooms, and Oglesby was my roommate. So when I got to the room, wasn't nobody there. But I did see somebody obviously living here too. So I'm in there, I'm making my bed or whatever, make my bed, I'm making myself comfortable, and then light-skinned dude walk in the room talking. This boy got the biggest grin on his face. You know what I'm saying? He looking at me like, you know what I'm saying? Who? I'm looking at him like, bro, who are you? You know what I'm saying? We, get to talk and introduce ourselves. And the way I'm talking, I guess, was interesting to him. So, because he studied laughing every time I say something. You know what I'm saying? So, he was like, I'll be right back. He went next door. Then he came back like, hey, man, come meet my boys real quick. They stay next door. So, I go over there. He introduced me to Gamble and Winfield. Now, at the time, I'm not thinking people like this is in the military for real. You know what I'm saying? So I go over there and meet Gamble and Winfield, and I swear to God, these boys was rolling a joint in Bible paper on everything. I'm like, the fuck? Yeah, Bible paper. And they asked me, do I smoke? I'm like, hell no, I don't smoke. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I don't even know y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I don't smoke. So I leave or whatever, but they became my boys though. They was cool dudes, but they was just some knuckleheads at the time. So my boy Oglesby ended up getting moved to Bravo Company, and I was still kicking with him every day. So after we get off work, I go over to Oglesby room, and then that's when I met my boy Paul. I think Paul lived next door to him. So, and every day I would go over my boy Oglesby room. Paul would probably be playing some Boosie or Webby, and that was my favorite rapper at the time. So we kind of like for real bonded off of, we liked the same kind of music type deal. So that's when I met Paul, and I already said I met Blue, but I met a few other dudes. I met my boy Red. I met my boy Echo. I met another dude named Stowers. He was cool for a second, but he turned out to be a snitch. And my boy Cortez. And what I mean by a snitch, I don't mean it like we gang related or nothing like that when I say that he was a snitch. It's just that he was doing something that he shouldn't have been doing, and when he got caught, he told on everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it goes. Like, you're not supposed to be doing this, bro, so you shouldn't bring everybody else down because you got caught. That's just the way I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Okay, so tell us about your first team leaders and squad leaders. What kind of NCOs were they? Hard, fair, crazy, or father figure types?
So, before everybody got back, they was still in Iraq. Like I said, we was on Rear D. And the very first person I met was Sergeant Grandia. We had already heard a little bit about Sergeant Grandia, but we didn't really, we never put a face to the name. So one day he showed up, at the end of the day he showed up and he told us hey, y'all doing PT with me tomorrow. I'm like, all right, cool. We was all like, all right, cool. So we didn't know Sergeant G liked to run, and he can run, you know what I'm saying? But he a legend because to us, we brand new privates, you know what I'm saying? But he been to war and he got shot and he's still alive, you know what I'm saying? So that was amazing to us, you know what I'm saying? So we meet him for PT the next day. We got on, it's the winter time. It's snow on the ground, you know what I'm saying? So we out in full PTs, man. He make us take everything off. We out here in shorts and t-shirt, you know what I'm saying? And Sergeant G can run. And so he took us on a run, and we had these two hills called Ball Buster, and I'm talking it's straight incline. And Sergeant G take us to the hills. We run the hills, and he breaking everybody off. So everybody was falling out of the run except me. I'm keeping up with him the whole time. So once we got back, he did like a release run at the end of the block and he took off, but I'm talking about I'm running right with him the whole time. Get back, we release, go to chow, whatever. He come back later that day when we was in uniform. He was like, Moore, you're in my platoon. I'm like, okay. But I don't know what the fuck that mean. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, cool. So fast forward, our company get back from Iraq. And while they was in Iraq, it was some pretty like we was hearing some legendary stories about the dudes, you know what I'm saying? And Bustos was one of the ones that's like, yo, Bustos, you know what I'm saying, stayed a platoon so in life. Like, he was a PFC, you know what I'm saying? And this is impressive to us, like a PFC did what? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, can't believe that, you know what I'm saying? So they was telling us, man, when these dudes get back, stay out of their way, you know what I'm saying? So we had already heard the legend about, you know what I'm saying, Bustos. So fast forward, they get back or whatever, and we had to be bellboys, like carrying their luggage to their rooms. Like, bro, we had to do whatever they told us to do. And when they got back, like this was before they separated everybody and started putting everybody into platoons and squads and all of that. So when they got back, all those dudes did was party all night long. You know what I'm saying? You hear music playing all night long. They drinking. They tell you to come have a drink with them. You just go have a drink with them, bro. You know what I'm saying? They partying all night long. The music playing all night long. And you better not go say, hey, could you turn it down? I'm trying to get some sleep. You know what I'm saying? They'll fuck you up. Like, so you had to deal with that. And one day I was on CQ. And all of them, we had to walk around and check the doors, you know. So they was on the side. Bustos and them was on the side. And they was barbecuing. Now, all the young privates is sucking up to these dudes. Like, they trying to be buddy-buddy with them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not the type of person that just, like, try to be friendly. Like, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that kind of person. So I was a little standoffish, but it wasn't no problem or nothing like that. And so I was on CQ, and Bustos came and asked me, like, hey, man, you want some barbecue? I'm like, yeah, I'll take some barbecue. And we hit it off from right there. Like, we started talking where I'm from, where you from, and we hit it off, like, immediately hit it off. You know what I'm saying? So they went on leave and came back, and that's when they assigned us squads. And Bustos wanted me in his team, his squad. I got in Bustos' squad team, and it was Bustos and Centeno was our first team leaders. So what Bustos taught me was, like, Bustos was the type of leader that he taught me everything there is to know about combat. You know what I'm saying? How to survive out there, how to move. Like, he was a no-nonsense kind of dude, and he wasn't going to hold your hand either type shit. Like, he would do stuff like this. Now, we go training or something. Like, this is the very beginning of our training or whatever. And he like, Moore, go over there and pull security. Now, I don't really know what pulling security is, but I know I'm supposed to go over here and watch a certain area, you know what I'm saying? So I go over here and probably do some dumb private shit, you know what I'm saying, and be right in the middle and wide open. So, like I say, Bustos wasn't the type to hold your hand and say, hey, Moore, come here. You get on security right here and pull security this way. He try to let you figure it out on your own, you know what I'm saying? So once he see me in the middle, the wide open, like, hey, dude, you know what I'm saying? He come over like, hey, bro, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Then he explained to me what cover and concealment was, and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay. So once he explained that to me, he never had to tell me again because I understand it now. You know what I'm saying? So he was that kind of leader. He taught us everything about combat. And Centeno, he was the one that taught us how to present yourself, like how to wear your uniform, keep a clean uniform, keep your hair cut. He was the one to teach us how to shoot, like how to really shoot your weapon. You know what I'm saying? He was the more technical side. Bustos was more of the tactical side. You know what I'm saying? And then we had Sergeant Reagan, and Sergeant Reagan was a legend. Like, Sergeant Reagan was in charge of all. Like, he was a squad leader, and Bustos then was our team leader. And Sergeant Reagan was legendary. Like, he had deployed like maybe 4 times already. You know what I'm saying? And he was still in one piece, so that was super fucking impressive to us. So he was our squad leader, and we used to do some crazy PT with this dude. Like, Sergeant Reagan would do some crazy PT. And one day we was doing PT, he ended up breaking his leg. And so when he broke his leg, Then we had to get Sergeant Death Row, and he was fresh off of being a drill sergeant, so he wasn't used to how relaxed the Army was. And when he came, he was like, this shit was it was like basic training all over again. And I did not like that. I was so happy that he ended up getting promoted and he had to go become a platoon sergeant. I was so happy that they got rid of him. Like, they didn't really get rid of him. He just got promoted and went to a new spot. So after he left, then we got Sergeant Raekwon. Now, Sergeant Raekwon, dog, was my boy, dog. Like, he had a way of talking to me. He never yelled. He never got loud. He never did none of that. Like, he had a way of talking to you, like, it's kind of hard to explain. Like, he could talk you into doing anything, even if you know you don't want to do it. Like, doing push-ups, anything. Like, he can talk you into going ahead, like, you know what, let me go ahead and do these push-ups. You know what I'm saying? Because Sergeant Raekwon, he was a great communicator with me. He knew how to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So he was probably like one of my favorite squad leaders I ever had on everything, Sergeant Raekwon.
Okay, so in your younger years, earlier you mentioned about how you used to fight a lot and, you know, you were in the streets. Did any of that cross over with you in the military?
Yeah, so one day, like, it took me a while to get the street side out of me I don't even think I've been in the Army a year yet. So I was still thinking I'm in the streets. So we went to my boy Blue had a barracks party, and we go to the party, and my daughter's mom was pregnant at the time. So we get there, we go upstairs or whatever to the party. Everybody got cups in their hand. I know it's everybody in here drinking, but I'm thinking she probably in here drinking too. So I immediately go like, you know, what you got in your cup? You know what I'm saying? And she let me know it's water, but we get into it though. You know what I'm saying? To the point I'm like, you know what? I'm out of here. So me, PD, and Gamble, we leave. And as we leaving, these two dudes was sitting on the steps. And one dude tell me, he like, how about take the fucking earrings out? Like, I don't know him. We all in civilian clothes. He like, how about take the fucking earrings out? I'm like, yeah, Roger. And I just kept on walking. So he run off the steps to come get in front of me. And you know what I'm saying? He like, hey, I told you to take those fucking earrings out. You know what I'm saying? So again, I still got the streets in me, bro. So I slapped his hand out of my face. Like, bro, get your fucking hand out of my face, dog. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I'm Sergeant such and such. And I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck who you are. You know what I'm saying? Don't put your hand in my face, bro. My boy get in between us. My boy Gamble get in between us. Like, man, what's going on? He asked my boy, like, who are you? He was like, this is my homeboy, what's going on? He was like, well, I'm Sergeant such and such. And he finna take the fucking earrings out.
What you talking about then? What you talking about then? Bitch, what you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, huh? What you talking about? Go back up. What you talking about? What you talking about, nigga? Get your bitch ass on.
Bro, hit that boy cleaning his shit. You know what I'm saying? Start beating the shit out of him right there. You know, so whoop his ass right there. After fighting dude, we get in the car, we leave, we go to go back to our side of the post. And like that Monday, like this happened on a Saturday. And like that Monday next week, we had a Class A inspection with the battalion commander and a sergeant major. And so we getting ready for the Class A inspection, and man, they walk in the building. Sergeant Major Dooley and Colonel Eifler. Sergeant Major Dooley like, where's Private Moore? I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let him know I'm right here. Him and my platoon sergeant come down there. He like, let me see your hands. I show him my hands, scarred up too. I show him my hands. He like, this your room? Yeah, he go in my room, check my room. My room was plush though. It was A1. Told my platoon sergeant, hey, if this the standard, you know, all y'all good. And so he ended up leaving. He was like, platoon sergeant, come here. And so he takes platoon sergeant outside. A couple minutes later, platoon sergeant come back to me like, hey, Moore, was you fighting this weekend? I'm like, nah, sergeant. You know, that wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? He was like, they got somebody saying that you was down there fighting Sergeant such and such. I'm like, nah, that wasn't me. He like, all right. He left it alone. But they wasn't leaving it alone because somebody had pinpointed me by name, like specifically it was him. So obviously they not lying, you know what I'm saying? So they got all the sworn statements and all that, and yeah, I had to get an Article 15 for that. Lost all my rank, a few days extra duty. Well, not a few days, it was like 45 days of extra duty.
So what happened and what did that punishment teach you about the Army and about yourself?
Well, honestly, what the punishment taught me that it's some real solid dudes in the military, because anytime somebody was on staff duty from Alpha Company, I didn't have to do staff duty. Like, they would just tell me to go back to my room. So instead of doing the 45 days of extra duty, I probably only did maybe like 20, because we end up going to the field. And when we in the field training, they not finna have me doing no extra duty and we doing all this shit out in the field. So it just taught me some real solid dudes in the military, that's all.
Okay, so tell the funny story about learning to be on time for a guard shift.
Oh man, so again, we was in the field and I was still new, kinda. And I was new, but I wasn't that new, you know what I'm saying? I got there in January. My boy PD probably got there in like March or April. And then Bartkiewicz and Constable got there in like, I don't know, maybe May or June or something like that. I know they got there when we was in the field. I don't remember when we was in the field, but that's when they got there. So you would hear Bartkiewicz talk from time to time, but I never heard Constable say a word, you know what I'm saying? And so we had to do guard out there while we was in the field. And bro, I was an asshole. Like, I wasn't showing up on time. Like, you're supposed to show up 15 minutes early, but I'm never showing up 15 minutes early. I'm showing up at exactly the time I'm supposed to be there. Like, if I got to be there at 4, I'm showing up at 4, or maybe 3:59 or 4:02 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was relieving Constable late. You know what I'm saying? And so one day I was on guard, bro, and the one guard replacement come out and replace him 15 minutes early. And I was like, bro, where the fuck is my replacement at? You know what I'm saying? He taking his time, bro. The time that he's supposed to be there hit, he still ain't here. You know what I'm saying? A couple minutes more go by, he finally coming out. Man, I'm like, man, hurry the fuck up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, hurry the fuck up, bro. Man, I'm talking about, I've never heard Constable talk before. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking I got me one. Man, bro, say,
bitch ass, faggot ass, punk ass, pussy ass, bitch ass, nickel! You wanna do something, bitch ass, nickel!
I'm just looking at this boy like, what the I didn't even know he had that in him, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, Constable goddamn taught me, like, bro, show up on time. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want. You know, if you want people to show up on time, you gotta show up on time. So, that taught me a lesson, and, you know, I had another respect for that boy Constable, because I didn't know he had that in him. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you do after that? Like, what happened and how did you never let it happen again?
Well, like I said, I want to get relieved on time, and everybody else do too. You know what I'm saying? So, like, bro, it ain't about you. It's about all of us. So that really taught me, like, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. So I can't want them to come on time if I'm not showing up on time. So that was just a valuable lesson. Like, bro, it's teamwork out here, for real, for real.
Okay, we're going to switch to a different lane. So your daughter was born in February 2008.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that moment, finding out she was coming and then actually being a dad on paper?
So I was excited. I was nervous because I didn't really know what being a dad meant at that time. You know, where I'm from, the dads that I saw, they weren't with their kids. They weren't playing baseball in the park. Like, I didn't really understand what it meant to be a dad. I just thought, okay, I got a kid. But I was excited, and we celebrated. Me and my boys, we threw a barbecue. We popped bottles. We celebrated. She was born. She was healthy. And that was all I could want. For real, at that point, like, my child to be born healthy, 100%, all the fingers, all the toes, no trouble.
How did it feel knowing you were about to deploy in April of 2008, leaving a newborn at home?
Well, it wasn't like I was leaving a newborn at home. Like, she was stateside. I was in Germany still. So I had never met my daughter. Like, I wasn't there when she was born, because in the military, if you're not married, you can't really go be there. So I wasn't able to be there when she was born. I didn't meet her until she was like 9 months old. So when we deployed, it was letting me know, like, I have to make it back home because, you know, I got a child to raise.
So what did those last days before deployment look like? Saying goodbye, packing gear, trying to be present with family, but knowing you're headed to war.
So there was really no goodbyes, because like my family wasn't there. Last time I saw them was probably Thanksgiving or Christmas, whenever we took leave. I went home for a while. I think I let my family know I was going, but while I was in Germany, I didn't really talk to them all the time. They knew I was going, so it really wasn't no goodbyes. But for us, it only became real once we started packing up the barracks. Once we packed all our stuff and we was left in a room with nothing but our duffel bags and everything we taken, that's when we knew it was real. So, funny story about that. So, me and my boy Petey, we went up in his room and we smoked us a blunt before we left. Like, everybody was at the gym, so we decided to smoke us a blunt before we leave because, bro, we need something to calm these nerves, you know what I'm saying? We don't know what to expect, so we smoke us a blunt. And like, we was about to leave, I remember we just shook hands like, bro, this is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, see you when we get back. But as we about to leave, Sergeant Constantine walked in, you know what I'm saying? And he kept, like, he smelled the weed, you know what I'm saying? He like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't trying to deploy, thinking we trying to get out of deployment or something like that. We just explained to him, like, he got us by the balls for real, you know what I'm saying? But we just explained to him, like, hey, sorry, it ain't nothing like that. We ain't trying to get out of deployment at all. We just trying to calm our nerves, you know what I'm saying? So he understood that, and, you know, he got on our ass, but, you know, we never did that again.
Okay. So describe landing in Kuwait in April 2008.
So we flew out from Ramstein Air Base, and we landed in Kuwait. Now, everybody got their weapon, but nobody has ammo. Once we get to Kuwait, my platoon sergeant come to me before we get on the bus, like, hey, he handed me a magazine, like, hey, you the designated, like, shooter or whatever. I'm like, what you mean I'm the designated shooter? Let us know, like, man, you know, it could be a threat out here as we heading to the base. So if somebody come, you know what I'm saying, you got to be the one to shoot. I wasn't the only one that had ammo. They hand random people ammo. It's a bunch of us out here, but random people have ammo. Not everybody, but there's ammo out there for sure if a threat ever comes. So we get on the bus. All the bus windows are closed, you know what I'm saying? And we in another country. And I'm nervous, like, I don't know what to expect. I'm not knowing, like, we really in a friendly zone. So we drive out there, bro. It's hot. Yeah, Bustos wasn't with us yet, so we was hanging out with Centeno every day. The rapper Twister came out there to do a concert for us in Kuwait.
Wow.
Yeah, Kuwait was hot. We was learning how to drive those MRAP trucks. Like, the MRAP trucks were new, so we was learning how to drive the trucks. We was getting acclimated to the heat. But while we were there, every single day, they would have the AFN on TV when we go eat chow or whatever. And every day we would see Sadr City on the news. Every day, Sadr City was on the news for something, you know what I'm saying? So we're just like, damn, hope we don't gotta go there, you know what I'm saying? So they come tell us, like, hey, that's exactly where y'all going. Dogs. Nerves.
Okay, so what hit you and to make you realize, like, we're not in training anymore?
I mean, it's real. It became real once we started, like, getting all the shots and we packed all our bags and we got on a plane. And once we got on the plane with our rifle, I knew it was real then, you know what I'm saying? So I knew it was real immediately once we got on the plane with our rifle.
Okay, so talk about arriving in Iraq at Camp Taji. What did the base look like and how did it feel compared to what you imagined?
So as a young private that's never been deployed, like, you have no idea what to expect. Like, you have no idea. So when we leave, we flew from Kuwait, and I think we took some Chinooks. So we in the Chinooks, and we get to Camp Taji, but like the Chinook was flying in, but it started to like bank sideways, and as it banked sideways, it started shooting flares out. Now, I don't know why they're shooting flares, but I'm thinking that we getting attacked. You know what I'm saying? But we wasn't getting attacked. But I was thinking that we getting attacked. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So we land. Now we in Iraq. Like, we finally in Iraq, and I'm talking, I don't know where the secure location. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, like, bro, where's the enemy gonna come from? Like, bro, what the fuck is this? Like, bro, this is a green zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing here. You know what I'm saying? So Taji was cool. It was a big base. It was huge. Like, it was huge. That's when I saw, like, oh, okay, so we hold pieces of land. Like, we got, damn near, this is the size of a city for real. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Taji was a shock when I first saw that, though, for sure.
If you can describe it, was it better than you imagined, or was it worse? Like the living arrangement and when you actually had to settle in?
To Taji?
Yeah.
Say that question one more time. My bad. I'm sorry.
So when you got there and you guys had to settle in, like, as far as the living arrangements go, was it better than you imagined or worse than you ever could imagine?
It actually seemed like a training ground. Like, when we was in Grafenweer, it kind of reminded me of that, like something like that we were staying at. Taji was, I didn't know that this is the best it gets out here, you know what I'm saying? So to us, it was okay, but we didn't know, like, this is the best that it gets, because once we left Taji, then we understood, like, damn, we was living good over there, you know what I'm saying? So it was way better than I expected, for sure.
Okay, so you were part of your platoon sergeant security detail. How did you end up on that detail, and what did that job actually involve?
So it's not really a job. It's just some people that go with the platoon sergeant to pull security for him. So we always have to send an ad-bomb party, and the platoon sergeant was on the ad-bomb party, and they picked a couple guys to go with him. So now we're finally about to go to the war zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is clear now. We're finally going to the war zone, and the platoon sergeant grabbed me, my boy Petey, and somebody else he grabbed. I can't remember, but he put us on the PSD. We fly into Sadr City on the Black Hawk helicopter, and we get off. I think they land on a roof or something. And once they land, they immediately yelling, "Get off! Get off! Get off! Get off! Get off!" You know what I'm saying? We get off the helicopter, like, we jump down. You know what I'm saying, man? We so fucking stupid, bro. We don't know nothing, but we get down in the prone and shit. We pulling security, like, you know what I'm saying? Bro, get the fuck, get up. My platoon sergeant called us like, "Hey, Moore, Williams, come here." You know what I'm saying? And he take us to the edge of the building, like, "Look at that." And bro, you just see tracer rounds going off, rockets going off. You heard gunfighting going in the background, bro. I'm just like, what the fuck did I get myself into, bro? Like, I swear it was lit up out there, bro. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And once we did that, we got off the roof, waited for a minute, and then the guys in the striker came and picked us up to take us to where we were gonna live. And once we got there, it was just a building. And bro, I remember it was time to go to bed. Not really go to bed. It was time to relieve the guys that was there because they was about to leave. So they put, like, the way security was set up was just a guy standing at the front door, one guy standing at the back door, and then two people on the roof. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn. I didn't know, like, we in the middle of the city. I don't know this for real, for real.
Tell us about the first time you fired your weapon in combat.
Yeah.
Where were you? What led up to it? And how did your body react in that moment?
So Bustos wasn't there yet because his son was about to be born, so he came later. And Centeno was my team leader. And I want to say it was one of our first patrols. Not the first patrol, but it was one of our first patrols for sure. And it was a night patrol. And it was like right across the street for real. It wasn't far at all. It was like right across the street. And we was walking through the little village or whatever. And so we were walking in, Sergeant Constantine was like leading us or something, and he told everybody to hope. You know, now they communicating with each other, like him and all the other guys in the squad or the platoon, they communicating with each other, letting them know like, hey man, the Iraqi army is in front of us. They don't see us because they don't have night vision. They don't see us. We hope that they don't open fire on us. You know what I'm saying? That's what they telling each other. But as they telling each other that, they start shooting at us. And shit, my training kicked in. I'm shooting back at them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know we don't supposed to shoot back at them, but I'm shooting back at them. You know what I'm saying? So they cease fire, cease fire, cease fire. You know what I'm saying? We Americans. And then, you know, we found out that it was us against them. And then that's when they told us they liked the fact that they didn't have to tell me, hey, shoot. You know what I'm saying? They liked the fact they didn't have to tell me that. But that boy Santana was like, hey, Moore, don't shoot unless I tell you to shoot. You know what I'm saying? But they appreciate the fact that I wasn't afraid and I did do the right thing, even though it was blue on blue at the time. But that was the first time I fired my weapon in combat.
Talk us through Busto's first patrol from your point of view. What do you remember about that mission, and what did it show you about him and about combat?
Man, Bustos and Blue was scared as fuck, dog. Nah, I'm just bullshitting, but
I'm shocked. You made my eyes get big. Like,
no.
What?
Like, so we used to have to do this counter IRAM patrol. They used to park a truck and like fire rockets at us. Nobody even had to be in the truck. They could just park the truck and rockets would be on the timer and just, they destroyed one of the bases out in Iraq like that. So we used to have to do a patrol for that every day. So before Bustos got there, we do this counter IRAM patrol all the time. And we usually just go out, make a circle and come back. You know what I'm saying? So Bustos this is Bustos' very first patrol. You know what I'm saying? And the LT tell him like, hey, Bustos, we want you to go, you know, check out that car lot over there. You know what I'm saying? Bustos like, all right, so we all head out, our squad. And we was in like a staggered column as we walking, formation. And like, I'm the very last one because I got the saw gun. So we walking out, we get to the corner. Bustos like, you know, head to the right so we can go to the car lot. Santana was like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? Bustos was like, nah, the LT said go check out the car lot, bro. To be quick, let's go check out the car lot. You know what I'm saying? So we was at a traffic circle. And now we usually just make the left at the traffic circle and just come on back, you know, head down the road to come on back to base. But Bustos wanted us to go to the right. You know what I'm saying? So, boom, we go to the right. We didn't even get halfway around the traffic circle, dog. Next thing you know. Dog. That shit went out. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I'm spooked. I ain't gonna lie. I am terrified, dog. But I'm sure everybody else was, too. The first thing we all do once that shit blew up, boom, we all look at Bustos. Bro. This nigga so calm, he chilling. But we all looking like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That bitch went off, bro. We all get to running over there. Bustos like, stop. You know what I'm saying? Stop. Oh, shit. Like, yeah, we got to wait. You're like secondary, you know what I mean? Wait, 'cause you ain't no goddamn secondary. Boom, we all stop. Like, damn. We wait for a second, you know what I mean? Wait. He like, all right, come on. We get over there, dog. They, the MPs, they done hit an IED. Right by our base, like right where we were about to walk at for real, they hit the damn IED. So, man, we go over there, dog. Dude is out the truck. Like, he got his iPro on, but one side of his iPro is blown off. Like, he's not crazy or something, like, but he got a big fucking gash in his nose, dog. You know what I'm saying? This dude got a huge gash in his nose. You know, we start helping him, and then we come help the one dude in the passenger seat. Like, his leg is just dangling by, like, look like spaghetti meat. You know what I'm saying? His fucking leg is just hanging, bleeding bad. So we helped them dudes out, patched them up, bro. that mission turned into a long fucking mission, but we ended up helping them dudes getting them out of there. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure we saved that one dude life for real, and we got him out of there. But what that taught me about it is like, damn, Bustos know his shit. You know what I'm saying? So he always knew what to do. From that moment on, it's like, oh yeah, I'm following this nigga. Anything he say, anywhere he want to go, I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm with Bustos.
But here we go. Explain the wall build in Sadr City. What was the mission? What were you actually doing day to day? And how intense did things get while you were building that wall?
Again, I was a private at this point. I don't really know what we doing. I'm just doing whatever I'm told. But building a wall, they wanted to build a wall on Route Gold. It was like one of the worst areas in Sadr City. Like a lot of shooting, a lot of IEDs and stuff was happening right there. So they wanted to build a wall to control all the traffic and everything that came in there. So our job was to, when the engineers are putting the T-barriers in place, it's our job to climb up the ladder and unhook the chains from the T-walls. I mean, we do that probably like 12 hours a day. Like, I hated that. Like, that was terrible. We probably did that for like a month, maybe a month. But we built miles of wall. But it actually stopped a lot of the shooting going on in Sadr City. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't think the wall build was that big of a deal, but it obviously was because it ended up making 60 minutes. So it had to be something.
Okay. Specialist Christopher A. Bartkiewicz was killed on September 30th, 2008 near Sadr City by small arms fire while on patrol. Where were you when you heard he's been killed, and what do you remember about that day?
So, in the infantry platoon, right, most things we do is pull guard, you know what I'm saying? And when we're not on patrol, we're doing guard shift. So, over time, every private probably done guard with everybody in the platoon. So you get to know everybody real well, and you get to making friends. So Bart was my boy. I remember the day it happened. I don't remember vividly what happened, but I'll just tell you what I remember. I remember we was going out in sector that day. I think the mission was to pass out micro grants because we tore the city up, so we had to help them rebuild it. We didn't personally tear it up. The unit before us tore it up, so our job was to help them rebuild a city. So we going around passing out money for real. So we were doing micro grants, and they had been out like, bro, we was out all day, hot, you know what I'm saying? I was on the truck because the way we did patrols was one day 2 squads or a squad or something would have to mount the trucks and the other squads would have to do patrols. Like, that's our way of taking a break. So it was our squad turn to be on the trucks and the other squad was on the ground. So I was in the trucks, I was gunning. It was me, Sergeant Raekwon, and Sergeant Cagney in the truck. And so, man, we was there for hours, bro. I'm tossing kids candy. I done climbed all on top of the truck. You know what I'm saying? Tossing kids, you know, candy or whatever, MREs and shit. So Bustos call up over the radio like, hey, you know, we done here, you know what I'm saying? Bring the vehicles. LT get on the radio like, hold on, we got one more. You know what I'm saying? So we excited, this the last one, so we ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Boom, they come walking right past our trucks. I remember seeing them walk right past our trucks, all of them. So we right there just pulling security, scanning. And as I'm looking out this way, I just see people running out of nowhere. People just running. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck? Then you hear it come over the radio. Hey, we got a man down, man down. You know what I'm saying? So we like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? All of us in the truck like, you know what I mean? Huh? Look down there, I see Bustos firing across the street. You know what I'm saying? So we just fired the same direction Bustos shooting at. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we turn the city up, dog. And I look. As I'm looking down the street, I see them carrying a body, you know what I'm saying, on on the litter. They carrying them to put them on the truck. So I'm like, damn, who the fuck is it? You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, all the guys in the platoon is my brother. All of us are brothers. But just speaking the truth, we're friends with, like, some of us are more, how can I put this? How can I put this? All of us are brothers, but you probably love some of them more than you love the other ones. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are cordial. Most of us are brothers. So the only thing I'm thinking is, man, I swear to I hope that's not my boy Petey. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, man, Petey is like this. Like, this is like my brother. Like, man, I hope that's not Petey. Because you can't see. They not saying who name it is over the radio. You know what I'm saying? So I just hope that ain't Petey. But then you start thinking in your mind, like, shit, I hope it's not anybody for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we don't know who it is. They carry him out on the stretcher. That squad get out of there, bro. We stay out there for another few hours and shit. So we finally leave, go back to the base. You know, we get out the truck. As we get out the truck, I don't remember who. I think it was Sergeant Hughes met Sergeant Grandier. As we all walking up to the building, he met Sergeant Grandier, and I guess he told him. And shit, when Sergeant Grandier, like, he just broke down, like, damn, like, crying and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? So I run in the building and shit. You know what I'm saying? I run straight upstairs. Boom, there go my boy Petey. Fuck, man. I grabbed him, hugged my bro. Like, bro, whew, bro, who the fuck was that? You know what I'm saying? He like, bro, that was Bart. I'm like, what? I'm like, damn, is he good? He was like, he died, bro. I'm like, nah, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro. And shit, man, it was Bart and shit. Later that day, we had to go salute his body off, man. Like, that fucked with me the most because only time I had ever seen a dead body was in a casket. You know what I'm saying? So we got to see him before he go home, and they got my boy in a body bag. Now, mind you, just 12 hours ago, we was sitting across the table laughing and joking, eating cereal. Just 12 hours ago we was, you know what I'm saying? And now this dude is laying in a body bag. And yeah, that one fucked me up, like, for sure, for sure.
Okay. So PFC Tony Gonzalez was killed December 28, 2008 in Sadr City when a roadside bomb detonated near his vehicle. How did his death hit you and the company? What changed in the platoon after Gonzalez was gone?
So Gonzalez wasn't in our platoon. I want to say he was in, like, the headquarters platoon. Probably not even the headquarters platoon, but he was in 135, I want to say. And we were just attached to 135. So it hit me because we just saw them leave. Like, we literally saw them get in the truck and leave. They wasn't gone 10 minutes. Like, they weren't even gone 10 minutes. They just left for real. So I remember, I think I was on the roof. Because we had a little area, our smoking area on the roof. And we was on the roof and we heard the explosion, like. Look, you know what I'm saying? You see the smoke. Like, damn, what the fuck was that? You know what I'm saying? EFP, like, I know we just saw the trucks ride by, you know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, what the fuck was that? They call up like, hey, we got casualty, you know what I'm saying? They like, what the fuck, bro? And they told us the way that they set up the EFP, dog. It was the EFP, like they had it aimed right at the guard, like the gunner's hatch. And when they rolled by, the platoon, like, I don't think he was the platoon sergeant. Maybe he was the platoon sergeant. Maybe he was the squad leader, something like that. But said that when it went off, they thought that it missed. Like, ha, you missed. You know what I'm saying? And a couple seconds later, a fucking headless body fell in the truck. You know what I'm saying? The Gonzalez got his fucking head took off by that EFP. You know what I'm saying? And shit, he died right there instantly. Took his head off.
What?
Yeah.
In that appointment, what did good leadership in combat look like to you?
Man, I would say good leadership was, like, I always looked up to Bustos, you know what I'm saying? So Bustos was good leadership. the way he carried himself, like I never seen dude afraid of nothing. He always knew how to handle himself. He always knew what to do, no matter like what the situation was. It just seemed like dude knew what to do. You know what I'm saying? So Bustos was excellent leadership. Sergeant Santana was excellent leadership because when we got there, if we not doing nothing, he got us at the range making sure that we can fucking shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't doing nothing. Come on, bro. We finna go train. You know what I'm saying? Because we really in it. You know what I'm saying? So Sergeant Santana was good leadership. Sergeant Raekwon was good leadership. Sergeant Will was good leadership. Sergeant Rob was good leadership. Sergeant Grandia, he was my first platoon sergeant, so I always had mad respect for him because he was more like a father figure to me, you know what I'm saying? He always wanted me to do the right thing and expected more from me, so I really looked up to Sergeant Grandia.
Okay. And on the flip side, did you ever see leadership fail in combat? Moments where you thought we deserve better than this?
I'm not gonna say it was never no, we deserve better than this because we didn't really care, cause like, yo, as long as I'm under Bustos, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, but we did have some shitbag NCOs out there 100%. You know, they know who he is. I ain't gotta say his name, but they know who he is. He's a shitbag NCO. But I did have one asshole NCO, right? They ended up coming in our platoon and splitting all of us up or whatever, and they ended up putting me under Sergeant Cagney. Like, they moved me from Bustos to put me under Sergeant Cagney. I think they moved Bustos to the other platoon, and they put me under Sergeant Cagney. No, he was still in our platoon. They just moved me to a different squad. And, like, I remember one day, the NCOs wanted to switch rooms with us. And so, I'm the type that voiced my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else just, like, the NCOs live in a small room. They the one told us to get this room when we first got here. They like, this y'all room, this our room, cool. So they see our room is small. They room small, our room is big, but it's more of us than it is of them. So they tell us like, hey, y'all finna give us this room and y'all moving in that room. And I'm like,
no, you're not. No, you're not. Stop!
They was trying to make us move, but the platoon, Sergeant Grandia told them that we had to agree to it. You know what I'm saying? If we didn't agree to it, it ain't going on. So we didn't agree to it. And so Sergeant Cagney thought that he was gonna punish me for that. So he tell me to meet him outside. You know what I'm saying? So I go outside or whatever. This motherfucker, he take a bottle of water. Like, now it's dusty all over the place because dust everywhere. So he take a bottle of water, he pour it all on the ground. You know what I'm saying? And tell me, hey, beat your fucking face. Like, do some push-ups. Dude, you got me fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I'm not doing no push-ups. I don't know who you think I am. Like, bro, you pour water on the ground and tell me to get in there, bro? I'm not doing that. So he go tell on me to the platoon sergeant. Sergeant Grandia, like, what you want me to do about it? You know what I'm saying? That's your soldier. Handle it. So he go tell Sergeant Raekwon, I told you, Sergeant Raekwon just know how to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So Sergeant Raekwon come out. He tell me, you know what I'm saying? I tell him what's going on and what, you know, the situation about it. He feel me, but somehow, some way, dude just talk me into like, you know what, bro, I'm gonna go ahead and just get smoked real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, got smoked real quick and got out of that, you know what I'm saying? But Sergeant Raekwon always knew how to talk to me, so I respect him to that level and gave him that much respect to, you know, do whatever Sergeant Raekwon say do, for sure.
After Iraq, your PCS back to Fort Benning with Paul. How did it feel leaving that deployment behind and starting over at a new duty station?
It was kind of bittersweet, you know what I'm saying? But I had so much fun in Germany, I kind of thought that the Army was like that everywhere. So while we was in Iraq, I ended up re-enlisting to go to Fort Benning. So when I got to Fort Benning, I wasn't a private at the time. I was a specialist now, but I still really don't understand much about the Army. I was just happy me and Paul got there together. I got somebody that I know. Me and him ended up in the same company. So yeah, I enjoyed that much about it.
Okay, so you got caught with a gun in the barracks. What's the story behind that, and what did that situation teach you about how the Army really works?
So, man, me and Paul like to hang out at the clubs, but we don't go to bars. We go to black clubs, like where the hip hop at and where it might be a little bit of violence. But we're not going there for violence. We just going there because this is where we feel most comfortable at. You know what I'm saying? So I had a gun, but it wasn't to harm nobody. It was to protect myself, to stop anybody from harming me in case they wanted to. So I had the gun, I don't know, I was probably there about 5 months. I had the gun that long. So yeah. Me and Paul went out to the club the night before, and I played basketball for the battalion or whatever. And so I had basketball practice the next day, so I overslept. Once we got back from the club, I just took the gun off my hip, put it on the bed. I'm laying down, I'm exhausted, you know what I'm saying? And the next day I wake up, I was late. And I just run out of there to go to basketball practice or whatever. But I had put in a work order for my fire alarm. And just for whatever reason, they decided to come on this random Saturday morning. You know what I'm saying? And so when they come in to check my fire alarm, the gun is sitting right on the table. They notify the proper people, and bro, the whole battalion I want to say not the whole battalion. The whole company got recalled in. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a Saturday. Everybody's at home. They off work. But when something happened, everybody got to get called back in. And everybody got called back in. And, bro, I was labeled the biggest piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, they start treating me bad after that. You know what I'm saying? So I was really at the point, like, I didn't really care about the Army no more at this point, because the way that they start talking to me and start treating me is like, okay, I'm a man before I'm anything. You know what I'm saying? So I think my boy Roka saw me like getting frustrated with that part. You know what I'm saying? And so Roka just took me under his wing, and he really showed me the way the Army works for real. Yeah.
Okay, so once you find all that out and that happened, and you finally got someone who's actually looking out for you, how did it turn around for you?
It turned around for me because Roka was a well-respected guy in the company. He's a specialist, but he had his Ranger tab, he's airborne, air assault, had CIB, but he was just a specialist though. But he was highly respected. And once people saw that he took me under his wing and took a liking to me, since everybody already like and respect him, they just started looking at me a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? And so in the middle of all that, once Roka took me under his wing and I got my Article 15, did my extra duty and all of that, they moved me to the other platoon. Now I'm in Paul's platoon. And so when I go to Paul platoon, that's when I first met Sergeant Flanoy. And Sergeant Flanoy was our squad leader, and Sergeant Hafey was my team leader. And Sergeant Hafey had won Soldier of the Month probably 3 or 4 times. So he was that guy. And so Sergeant Hafey, the one that gave me the blueprint on how the Army actually works. He the one that showed me, like, hey, everything you need to know about the Army is in a manual. You know what I'm saying? And he showed me everything about it. You know what I'm saying? And once he gave me that game, that's all she wrote.
Okay, so now here we are. It's 2010. You got the manual. You learn in the Army.
Yeah.
You in this platoon with your boy. Yeah. And you welcome in your baby girl, Cherish. What are your mind? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings at that moment?
To be honest, I was angry. For real. I was angry because I never wanted to be a guy that got kids spread out all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted my kids to be raised in the same house as me. It was something when I was growing up, I never wanted kids spread out everywhere. So I wasn't really ready to have a second kid. I think I was 21, 22 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really ready. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't mature. So I was blessed that she was born, but I was a little angry because I wasn't ready. So, you know, I was super immature about it. You know what I'm saying?
If there anything that you can change about that, what would it be?
I wish that I could have took it more serious. You know what I'm saying? The older I got, the more I understood. Like you're not as smart as you're gonna be at 22 that you are at 30 something. You know what I'm saying? So I wish I would have took it a little more serious and understood how important it was for me to be there for both of my kids. You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm ready or not, they're here. You know what I'm saying? So I just wish I would have took it a little more serious.
Okay. Speaking about serious, you said let's talk about learning the real Army, not the brochure version, but things that actually move behind the scenes.
Yeah. So they put me in the experimental company. So what we did is test all the new equipment for the Army. What worked, what didn't work, but we still were doing like tactics as if we were in combat. And the way they broke it down is like, before you go out on mission, everybody has to know everybody's job. So if you're a private, you have to know your squad leader's job, because in the middle of the mission, they'll probably say, boom, your squad leader's dead. Now what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So you have to know the job. So with that, it taught us a lot on how to react if something like that do happen. You know what I'm saying? So it was teaching us leadership without knowing it's teaching us leadership. You know what I'm saying? So it was a real good experience being there. And like I said, Sergeant Hafey, once he gave me the manuals, tell me everything you need to know about the Army is in these manuals, bro. I understood how the game actually is to be played, and I understood how it actually works.
So how did you grow into becoming a leader, eventually getting promoted to sergeant? Was there a moment you realized, I'm not just the junior guy anymore, I'm the one people look up to?
I'm not gonna say people was looking up to me either, because the company I was in, there wasn't really any privates there. It was all specialists and sergeants, because it was it's a TRADOC unit, so they don't send brand new they send some brand new privates from basic training to TRADOC, but mostly it's guys that's been in the Army already. So I'm not gonna say anybody was looking up to me. It was more of, it was my turn, you know. So I had the time in. I won Soldier of the Month board, I don't know, like 4 times. And so obviously I know the job. I'm a PT stud. So it was just time for me to be promoted. It wasn't more like people look up to me. And I want to say it was Sergeant Anderson that was the one getting me ready to get promoted.
What was the feeling once you got that promotion?
Oh man, now, like, bro, when you first get them stripes, dog, you feel like, I swear to you, feel like you're on top of the world, dog. Like, you're a big homie. Like, I couldn't believe I was a sergeant, for real, because how stupid of a private I used to be compared, you know what I'm saying, to where I am now. It's like I just couldn't believe it. I came so far, but the Army was becoming so easy to me, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I was proud. That was one of my proudest moments in the military, was making sergeant for the first time. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you and Paul made the decision to do PCS to Fort Bliss to deploy to Afghanistan. What was the conversation like? What were you both chasing when you said yes to that move?
So, at this point, Paul had got his Ranger tab. And Paul, like me and Paul, we already made our mind up. Like, you know what, bro, we lifers. Like, we gonna stay in for life. You know what I'm saying? So Paul had went to RASP, and he was trying to go to Ranger Battalion. And he ended up getting kicked out of Ranger Battalion because somebody lied on him for something stupid. And so he came back. He was pissed, but I wanted to leave Fort Benning. So there was a website that we used to go on, man. I cannot remember the name of it, but we used to go on there, and like, if there's orders, you can accept the orders. And every time I would go check it, they had Fort Bliss up there. Like, I didn't really want to go to Fort Bliss, but I wanted to leave Fort Benning. You know what I'm saying? So I got to looking into Fort Bliss and I saw that they was going to Afghanistan. And so the war had been going on for, man, well over 10 years at this point. So I'm thinking there's nothing going on over there. So if I'm going to stay in the military for life, I already have an Iraq deployment. I need to get Afghanistan deployment too, because that would look better on my resume down the line. So I was telling Paul, like, hey, man, bro, I'm about to go to Fort Bliss, because he didn't know what he was going to do once he got kicked out of Ranger Battalion. He didn't know what to do, so I was like, bro, I'm going to Fort Bliss. They about to go to Afghanistan, dog. We can go get this money real quick. He was like, shit, bet. He called his branch, and they put him on orders to go to Fort Bliss. So we both end up PCSing from Fort Benning to Fort Bliss around the same time.
Paul deployed first while you were still in processing at Fort Bliss. What did it feel like watching your friend go ahead of you while you were still doing paperwork and integration?
I mean, it wasn't like I was like, man, I'm sad that he leaving or nothing like that, because I know I'm right behind him. But it's just like, bro, be careful. Let me know what's going on out there. But yeah, I didn't really think none when he left. I was just knowing that I'm right behind him, and I had to get my training done, and I was coming right behind him.
Pause.
So it wasn't really none. But when Paul got there, you know what I'm saying, me and him was talking, and he was telling me like, bro, it's the real deal. You know what I'm saying? It's the real deal. And I still didn't understand what he was talking about. But my boy Tibbetts, before I had left Fort Benning, he used to tell us how Afghanistan was, and I used to think that he was lying about it, but it turned out that boy wasn't lying at all.
Okay, so talk about arriving in Afghanistan and seeing Tommy Keller again.
Yeah. So I finally make it into Afghanistan. I flew into Shank. And then once I got to Shank, I don't know how I got down to Altimer, but they took me to Altimer. And once I got there, I walked into the company top. Let them know I'm Sergeant Moore. I'm assigned to this company or whatever. And when I walk in, I'm hearing them on the radio. Bro, they are serious firefight going on over the radio. They calling for air support, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, what the fuck? And then he was like, hey, is your weapon zeroed? That's what my commander asked me. I'm like, yeah. He was like, hey, well, Sergeant Keller's out at the range. Go out there to the range and make sure your weapon's zeroed. Okay. But I had knew Sergeant Keller from Germany, but I hadn't seen him in years, so I'm not thinking this is that Sergeant Keller. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And I get over there to the range, and Sergeant Keller look at me like he gave me the look like, you still in the army? And I'm looking at him like, oh shit, Sergeant Keller, you know what I'm saying? He was like, damn, what the fuck is me and Paul walking over to the range? He couldn't believe me and Paul was sergeants, you know what I'm saying? Because he probably expected me to get kicked out when I was a young private. I was bad as hell as a private, you know what I'm saying? So he was just shocked that I was a sergeant now, you know what I'm saying? So it was good to see Sergeant Keller out there, zero my weapon. He was telling me about how the AO is, and I'm like, damn. You know, so I leave there, zero my weapon. Me and Paul, we leave. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go, you know, chill for a minute. We're going to go eat chow together. Like, all right, bet. So I go to our tent, but while I'm in the tent, they send somebody in there to come back to the talk. The CO was like, hey, pack your bag, you leaving out tonight. I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I just got here today. He's like, you leaving out tonight? I'm like, all right, cool though. So I go tell Paul, like, nigga, I'm leaving tonight. He was like, what the fuck? Where you going? Roadhouse. He was like, what? You know what I'm saying? I don't know where Roadhouse is. So he's like, you going to Roadhouse? I'm like, damn. So, yeah. I told Paul that I was going to Roadhouse, and he was just like, fuck. And, bro, we headed out that night. And we walked in the Roadhouse. And the CO, bro, for some reason, the CO just didn't like me, like, just out the gate. Like, he just judging me from, I guess, my appearance, the way I look or something. I don't know what it is, but he just didn't like me. You know what I'm saying? So we walking in. As we walking in, we was going to OP Dabari to get some guys off the OP and switch out with some new guys or something like that. But we get to the OP, the CO study yelling at me to take charge of the soldiers. And I'm like, bro, I don't even know anybody. Like, I've never met anyone, you know? So I'm telling guys what to do. I'm just walking around. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? I see it's a private. Hey, do this. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? So I'm started doing all that to make the CO feel better, I guess. And so Yeah, that was day one.
Okay, so that was day one at Road House. What happened day two that make you feel that way?
So, day two, like I said, we walked in at night. So the next morning, once the sun finally came up, we're about to go out on patrol. Finally get to meet my squad leader. I get to meet my soldiers. We're about to go out on patrol, and our lieutenant, for whatever reason, but every time before we walked out on the patrol, he wanted to pray, and that shook me a little bit. Like, I never seen anybody pray before we got out on mission. I get it, you know what I'm saying, but that threw me off a little bit, that we praying. Like, damn, is it that dangerous out here? So we pray, and we get to walking out, and the sergeant got there tell me, hey, Sergeant Moore, lead us out. And I'm just like, the fuck you mean lead us out? You know, like, okay. But I'm leading us out, Sergeant Hendricks over the radio. Hey, Moore, head more east. I'm just study walking. Like, I don't know which way north, east, south, or west is, because I've never been oriented to the AO yet. So he, head more east. I'm just study walking. East, head east. Hey, Sergeant, which way is east? You know what I'm saying? So he tell me to, head more to the left or whatever. So boom, walking that way. So I bet you he think I'm an idiot because I don't know which way east is. But bro, you the fucking idiot because you're my squad leader. How about orient me to the AO before you have me to lead a patrol, dog? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we didn't go too far. We walked out and did a little mission. Nothing happened. We ended up walking back. So once we got back in the cop, I took it up on myself to orient myself to the AO. So that's when I walk up to the tower, to the privates, because the privates know everything, for real. So walk up to one of the towers, I want to say it was Landa Galvez in one tower. He started explaining to me what's going on here, where the fire would come from, what direction this is and all that. Cool. Walk to the other tower, you got Turner in that tower. And Turner was like, this such and such, but the enthusiasm that he was talking to me, I'm like, damn, it's a high-speed private, you know what I'm saying? Ask him, like, where you from? Got the low where you from? What do you wanted to do in the military? Dude wanted to be a special forces ranger type dude, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, he probably got potential to do it too. So he oriented me to that side. I go to the other side. I want to say Mock was in that tower. And Mock let me know about the area or whatever. So, okay, now I'm oriented. I'm cool. And the next day, we go out and do the same exact mission. There's no problem. We just went out, same area, you know what I'm saying? Nothing going on. So we go out, dog, same exact mission. We go out. Now, I took a selfie. I had my camera out there with me, because every deployment I had bought a camera. So I got my camera out there. I take a selfie while I'm sitting up against the wall. It's like as soon as I took that picture and put my camera up, bro, all chaos. Like, our support by fire is getting shot at. And they coming over the radio. We getting fire coming from this direction. I'm like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? This is day 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit. So they tell us like, hey, we're about to flank them. I'm like, fuck. I'm telling my heart is fucking pounding. Like, damn. They tell us we're about to flank them. So, all right, boom, we come up to a gate. So I peek through the gate. I see a dude like run by, but it looked like he was holding an AK in his hand. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, I just seen a motherfucker run by with an AK. They was like, you sure? I'm like, man, nah, I ain't sure, but I swear they looked like an AK, dog. You know what I'm saying? They like, man, push through the alley. I'm like, fuck. Man, I'm so scared, but fuck it. Open that door, get out there. As soon as I walk out in the alley, turn around and run back in the fucking gate, dog. My motherfucking squad leader gonna say something. Don't be running from fire. What? Motherfucker, you take your ass out there. Obviously, they know where the fuck I'm at. I don't know where the fuck they at. You know what I'm saying? Man, we gotta push through the alley, dog. You know what I'm saying? Gee. Now, we push it through the alley. I'm so spooked, but this time, I'm like this walking through the alley, dog. I got my weapon up, I'm scanning, like, where he at? I'm studying saying that to myself, where he at? I don't see nobody. So, man, we probably get 50 meters into the alley. I look behind us, it's just me and my team in the alley. I'm like, oh, hell nah. Hey, I stopped us right where we was at, bro. Set up security right here. Hey, Sarn, we not moving until y'all get the fuck in this alley. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when they come in the alley, we start questioning people talking. You know, they talking to people. Boom, fuck it. We finna go back. We finna head back to the base. And as we walking, we get to the end of the alley. I'm noticing as we get to the alley, we about to run into this big ass field. I'm like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? This house is right across there where we gotta get to. I'm just like, fuck. I'm knowing it's finna go down as soon as we get in this goddamn field, dog. Man, we get to the end of the alley. I put my team in a wedge formation. Man, as soon as we start spreading out in that field, bro, we jump straight down in the prone in the field and we shooting everywhere. So now we got to call our other squad up to come and give us support by fire. They come, give us support by fire. They tell us to go ahead and push across so we can link up with them. But as we push up to go link up with them, we crossing this wadi. And as soon as we get in the wadi, dog, RPG. I'm like, fuck, dog. I'm praying to myself like, God, please just let us get back. You know what I'm saying? Please let us get back, dog.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Man, they finally let up on us, bro, and we get back. And I'm just thinking like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck, dog? What in the fuck? So I found out real quick how real it was out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Describe JSS Row House for people who've never been there. What did it look like? Where was it at? And what kind of mission were you running out there?
It was in Logor Province. I don't really know the exact location where it was at, but bro, it's 4 kalat walls, 4 mud walls, about 10 feet tall. No bathrooms, no running water, no electricity. Only electricity we had, it was in like a little shed type shit that we was using for the top. But we was sleeping in bunkers. It was miserable, to be honest with you. I had no idea people were still living like that in the combat zone. So, like I said, no running waters, no showers, no toilets, they was burning feces. We had trenches that we built, piss trenches, you know. So, it was real throwback warfare at Roadhouse for sure.
Okay, so you mentioned the Taliban launching Russian 203s into Roadhouse. What do you remember about those attacks? What did it sound like? What did it do to morale, and how close did it get?
Oh, it got close. They launched a few of them in there. They got real close. So, man, when we left Altamont, like I said, my commander told me to pack for 30 days, so I brought everything. And so I was the only one that had a laptop out there, and I had my hard drive full of movies. And so it was so boring out there, we'd had nothing to do, so I would set the laptop up so we all can watch a movie. And we were all sitting around watching the laptop. And I was the sergeant of the guard. Like, I'm in charge of the guard towers. So I was on SOG, we was watching the movie. Standing by the truck, I heard like, tink, tink, tink. Like, I heard something launch, but I'm not really paying attention to the launching sound. But I heard something land, like hit right on the ground. Tink, 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 tink. I'm like, what the fuck? Look like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, what the fuck? Another one come in. Oh shit, we all get to scrambling, going to put our kits on. Like, bro, what the fuck? Where this shit coming from? They probably threw like 3 or 4 of them in there, you know what I'm saying? And that shit is scary because, bro, dog, they probably threw like 3 or 4 of them in that bitch, dog, for real. That shit was scary. Like, I didn't even know they had those, you know what I'm saying? So they launched them bitches in there. I run up to the guard towers. Where's it coming from? I don't know. So, hey, shit. We heard a sound coming from that way, so shoot that way. And shit, we shot that way, and they stopped shooting them bitches over there for sure.
Talk about Cold War Afghanistan. What kind of AO was it? What made it different or more dangerous? And what was the role there? what was your role there?
What made it dangerous was they can see in our cop from all around, like they can see directly in there. So we had cover, but we didn't have much cover. Like they could really see directly in there. So that's what made it dangerous, because if a sniper's sitting out there looking to pick somebody off, he probably can. That was what made that part dangerous, but just the terrain. Terrain made it dangerous. Just the Taliban period made it dangerous, because they always picked the time and the place when they wanted to fight. And any direction we headed outside of our cop, we were going to get in some type of contact. So it was dangerous any direction you walked. And we had to do most of our missions at the cover of darkness, because if we walked in the daytime, you probably ain't going to make it, because you shooting your way all the way there. And you got to get back. So it was dangerous like that for sure.
Okay, so which one would you consider more dangerous, Iraq or Afghanistan?
Afghanistan, 100%. Afghanistan, 1,000%. Like, I didn't really experience the type of Iraq Bustos and those guys went through when they were in HIT in 06. But the type of fighting that we did in Sadr City in 08, in May, it was real hot in Sadr City, but it completely died down. Like nothing was really going on until Bart got killed, you know. So it was real quiet in Iraq. I probably fired my weapon 4 or 5 times in Iraq, maybe. But Afghanistan, any direction you go into, you're in a firefight 2-3 hours at a time, maybe 4 or 5 hours at a time. It depends on how far you're out. So Afghanistan was way more dangerous than Iraq, in my opinion.
Okay, you were acting squad leader at times. How did that responsibility hit you when it was your turn to make calls and keep guys alive?
So, man, our squad leader went on leave, and I was the senior E5 in the platoon. Well, not the platoon, the squad. I was the senior E5 in the squad, and now I'm the acting squad leader. So they combined me and Spencer together. Spencer was in weapon squad, but Spencer was like one of the team leaders on this mission for my squad. And so, man, we walked in that direction and we was out there for a few hours. Nothing had happened. Nothing happened, but we was getting chatter over the radio that the Taliban was setting up an ambush for us. You know what I'm saying? So they said they're going to get us on the way back. So we were walking back home, and we usually walk through, I want to say that was Yargo. I think that was Yargo. We usually walk through Yargo village to walk back home because it's a clearer path. But as we leaving, Spencer was like, "Hey, Sarmore, I'm gonna just go over this hill right here. We just walk in that way." I'm like, "Shit, fuck it, go ahead." And man, we climbing to go over that way, dog. Sure as shit, they had an ambush waiting on us. So they pissed, I guess. And as we walking through there, they just opened fire on us. We in a big ass shootout right there, big ass firefight. But good thing it happened there, and Spencer made that call to just, hey, I'm gonna go this way. You know what I'm saying? Because they definitely had an ambush waiting on us. And if he wouldn't have made that split decision at that time, ain't no telling what would have happened. So I appreciate Spencer for that one.
Okay, so PFC Neil Turner died January 11th, 2012 at Camp Taji, Afghanistan. Yeah. What do you remember about that day and who he was as a soldier and a person?
So, I wasn't there the day he died. The day Turner came back from leave, I was going on leave. And so, me and Turner like passed each other. Like, the bird I'm getting off of is he's getting on it to go back this way, and I just got off the bird to go to the direction he's coming from. So we passed each other, and we had been deployed, I don't know when I got there, October. So it's probably December, been there a couple months, so I know Turner, you know what I'm saying? So I tell him like, "Hey, finally decide to come back, huh, shit bag?" And we just laughed, we just walked past each other. And so I get back to Afghanistan, and I want to say I landed at Shank. Maybe I was at Shank. And when I got there, I remember it was I think he was a specialist. Either the PFC or he was a specialist, but it was Benjamin for sure. Benjamin was like, "Hey, Storm, you heard about what happened to Turner?" I'm like, "What you mean what happened to Turner? What you mean?" He like, "He dead." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here. What you mean he dead?" He like, Perez fucking shot him with a law and killed him. Like, bro, you fucking lying. You know what I'm saying? He like, "Sorry, I wouldn't lie about nothing like that." I'm like, "What the fuck?" So I got back to the cop, like, I want to say January 12th, I got back to the cop. So he died the day before I got back. And so I get back, everybody telling me what happened and shit. I was just like, damn. And we had the memorial, and that one was real sad because it didn't happen by an enemy, you know what I'm saying? It was friendly fire, and like I said, Turner was a good kid. I think he had a ton of potential from the little time that I did get to talk to him. He was real high speed, he seemed, like, dude, love UFC, you know what I'm saying? Just all around good kid, and I hate that happened to him because dude was so young, So
how did the loss of Turner change the energy of the deployment for you personally?
What it really made me start to think, like, damn, because my last deployment, somebody in my platoon got killed. This deployment, somebody in my platoon got killed, and we still got a long way to go before we go home. So if anything, it made me more on edge. Like, I want to get the fuck out of here, and I want to bring everybody home. Like, let's just get out of here, for real, for real. Not like let's run away and leave, but let's get out of here in one piece is what I'm saying.
So as that Afghanistan tour went on, did you feel yourself getting more numb, more angry, more focused? How did it change you compared to the Iraq version of you?
Well, the Iraq version of me was just a private. Like I said, all I had to do was whatever Bustos told me to do. I really didn't have any responsibility. But the Afghanistan deployment, I'm a team leader, so these young guys are looking up to me to get them back home or to have the right answers on what to do. So it didn't make me numb. It didn't make me angry. I would say it definitely made me more focused to do the right things and be on point just so I can make sure my guys come home in one piece, because as a leader, that's the most important thing. You don't care about any awards, being a hero, none of that kind of shit. Like, you just want to make sure you get all your guys back home in one piece. And that was my main focus the whole time I was there.
So when you finally left Afghanistan and came back home, did you feel done with war, or did a part of you still live over there?
That's interesting. It just felt good to be back home. Now that I've made it through my second war in one piece, I was feeling a little untouchable. Like, not like I'm invincible, but I like that adrenaline so much that I'm not done with it. I would actually want to go back because it's easier over there than it is here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to say I live there. I need a break, and then I'm ready to go back, though, for sure, 100%.
Talk about Eric Williams. What do you remember about the day he passed?
Yeah. So while I was in Afghanistan, Doc was there, and he's the same medic from my first deployment. So he was there, but this time his role, he was a medic on the helicopters. Like, if somebody got wounded in combat, they would be the ones flying in to come get them. And we found out we were in the same area, so we would be just talking back and forth through Facebook the whole deployment. And every other day he'd tell me, like, "Hey man, don't let me see you on my bird." That's his way of saying stay safe out there, So he would say stuff like that. And once I got to the end of the deployment, made it out safe, just telling him, like, "Hey bro, I'm on my way back home." He was like, "Shit, I'm back home I'll be home in a couple months too. We should link up." Like, hell yeah, we can link up, you know what I'm saying? So I left in July, like the beginning of July. And I got home, and man, I don't know how long I was home. I went home long. I just remember my boy Constantine calling me like, "Hey, come over." I'm like, all right. It's probably like I don't know, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We just getting off work. I come over like, what's up, bro? He poured me a drink. He's like, here, man, drink this. I'm like, man, fuck, I don't want no drink. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no drink. What's up? He's like, man, you gonna want to drink this for this. I'm like, what you talking about, bro? What's going on? He's like, man, it's about Will. Like, what about him? He was like, he got killed. I'm like, bro, you fucking lying. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way. He like, nah, bro, he got hit by a fucking mortar out there and shit. Just like, God damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, that one probably hit me the hardest because Doc was like my brother, you know what I'm saying? And like, the way he went out was just so fucked up. Like, you know, it's a part of that. We all had to develop the mentality, when it's your time, it's your time. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do, no matter where you are or whatever. When it's your time, it's your time. But that was a hard pill to swallow. But I guess it was his time, you know, because of how it happened to him. So that one hit me pretty hard because, like, we were supposed to link up, and Doc was my brother, man. And, yeah, Constantine told me that. Shit, I definitely took the drink after that. You know, I sat, soaked about it for a while, and it's just like, God damn, bro. And start counting people that then probably died since I've been in the military, and it was just a crazy number to me. And so that one hit me pretty hard because, like I said, man, I had real love for Doc. He was my real brother.
Yeah. What does that do to one's spirit when you lose a brother in combat?
It make you want revenge for him. It's like you want to get revenge for him, but the fact is, like, bro, you'll never find out who shot that exact mortar. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that probably made me so much more numb to, like, you know, I don't think I really cared about much after that. You know what I'm saying? It's been hard to really care about shit since, you know, the type of shit that we've had to deal with over there.
So when did you know it was time to leave the Army for good?
Hold up. So, it was around 2014. Maybe 15, I'm not sure, but my unit 141 had disassembled and we got sent to another part of Fort Bliss. And around that same exact time, Obama decided it was time to lift the don't ask, don't tell. So now you can be an open homosexual in the military. Now, mind you, I don't care what nobody's sexuality is, but I don't think it's anything that should be paraded around. Like, I like the don't ask, don't tell. If you that way, we don't even care that you that way. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as he opened the floodgates to where that, you know, you can be however you want to be in the military, bro, it was just getting too weird. You know what I mean? And that wasn't the military that I grew up in. And so in 2014, when he lifted that, I didn't like it. I saw the way the military was going, and I was a leader, and I was getting more rank in the military. And it's like, bro, I am not about to deal with that kind of shit. Like, I couldn't imagine having a little flamboyant soldier around me. Like, I wasn't going to be able to do that. So, that's the truth. And so, once the military started changing like that, I was like, yep, it's time for me to get up out of there.
What do you remember about signing your ETS papers and realizing this chapter was over?
It was bittersweet. I was excited to get out. I was ready to go back home. I wasn't really sure who I was or what I would do, but I was definitely excited and ready to get out. I didn't really know what to expect, but it was definitely a bittersweet moment. I remember once I signed my papers and got my final signature and passed out the gate. Like, I never go out of the front gate, but this day I decided to go out of the front gate. And so as I'm driving out of the front gate, I'm just looking at the welcome to Fort Bliss sign in my rearview mirror, and I just couldn't believe, like, damn, it's over. You know what I'm saying? After 10 years, it's over, just like that. And like I said, it was bittersweet.
If you can describe your emotions at that time, were you emotional or were you just like disbelief? Like, what's your feelings?
I couldn't really believe it. One of the first things I did was when it bought me some weed, and now I can openly smoke like I don't care no more. You know what I'm saying? So I went and bought me some weed, smoked me some weed, and not have to worry about a drug test. So I was still, I guess, shocked a little bit. It didn't really feel real. It took a while for me to get used to because I was always used to having something to do. Now I have absolutely nothing to do.
So how ready did you think you were for civilian life, and how ready were you actually?
I thought I was 100% ready, but I wasn't ready at all because while in the military, we didn't learn how to do nothing but kill people. And there's not any jobs for assassins outside the military unless you want to be in the streets or something like that. So I didn't really have any skills other than killing people. So I didn't really fit in. I wasn't prepared for it. And I was told that once you get out of the military, everybody will want to hire you. So yeah, once I got out, the state trooper sent me a letter say, hey, I'm welcome to come and join the State Trooper Academy, but I didn't never want to be a cop. So I didn't want to do that. Yeah, I wasn't ready at all. Like I didn't have any skills. So it was a shocker to me, for real.
Those first months out, what was the hardest part of not being Sergeant Moore anymore?
For me, it was just not having nothing to do. You know, that was the hardest part for me. It wasn't really about being Sergeant Moore and being in charge of people. It was more about the structure, the having something to do. Every day of life was accounted for, and now there's nothing to do. It don't matter what you've done. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Sergeant Moore anymore. So it was mostly like just finding something to do.
Okay. How did you end up behind the wheel of a semi-truck after the Army?
So when I got out the military, my boy Oglesby, he had been got out. So he had started driving trucks as soon as he got out. And once I got out, I was going to school to try to do like business management or something like that. But I wasn't really fitting in college. I was too old. I think I was like 28 years old. Kids in my class are 18, so I'm really not fitting in. And my boy Oglesby would always tell me like, hey man, you could always drive trucks, you know, if they pay good. So he put me on game to that. And so I started looking into it. And once I looked into it, I'm like, oh shit, like, you know, I like the benefits that come with it. So that's how I got behind the wheel. And, you know, it was actually one of the best jobs I ever had outside the military.
Okay. Walk us through the day of the accident. What do you remember before, during, and after it happened?
So I remember my company, we had moved out to the oil fields from over the road because gas prices were so high that it was running a lot of companies out of business. So my company decided to move down to the oil fields. And we're out there running loads for the oil fields, and the company that we were, I guess you can call it attached to them, their drivers started getting jealous because our drivers were doing more loads than them. So they started trying to put us on shift. So from 6 to 6, you run loads, and then from 6 at night to 6 in the morning, you run loads. So 2 12-hour shifts. And so I had been running the day shift the whole time. And on this day, for whatever reason, when I wake up at like 6 in the morning, I tell them like, hey, I'm ready to go. They was like, hey, you can't run the morning shift. We're going to need you to run a night shift. And I remember being pissed. I'm like, what am I supposed to do all day? You know, I've been asleep all night, so I can't just go back to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, I sat around all day long until 6, and then I started doing my shift. And I got to my last load of the night. And so as I'm driving back, I feel myself getting tired. You know what I'm saying? So some told me to take my seatbelt off. and take the seatbelt off, you know, scoot a little bit closer to the steering wheel to try to help wake myself up. And so, do that. I'm just driving, and I see this truck like sitting on the side of the road. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I'm probably about a quarter mile from the truck. And as I'm coming, I see the truck, like the lights come on, like they got their brake lights on. And then the truck began to try to make a U-turn. As I'm coming, I'm going 70 miles an hour on cruise control. And as I see him trying to turn around, I try to go to the other lane to miss him, but I end up hitting him. Like, they tell us to run straight through the vehicles if they turn in front of us like that, but I spared them for real, and just went towards the front, and I hit the front bumper of the truck. And once I did that, you know, pretty much lost control of my truck, and then my truck began to flip. Still, you know, I'm getting up off the ground, thinking that my hand was broken, but it was a little more serious than that. You know, people start coming to help us or whatever, and then ambulance and everybody show up, and that's when I find out that my injury was more serious than I initially anticipated, because I was thinking my hand was broken, but they immediately let me know, like, hey man, we got to get you on a helicopter so we can try to save your hand. And I'm like, what do you mean save it? And they told me that it was injured like bad. And so, you know, go to the hospital, 3 hours, go to the hospital, 3 surgeries later, you know, got a repaired hand, but it never worked the same.
What did losing that career and playing do for you mentally?
Man, it sent me into a real dark place because, you know, my hand on one hand is like, it's almost like a loss of identity. It felt like, you know what I'm saying? I was a real confident, cocky dude. Even some people say I was cocky, but it made me lose a little bit of self-identity with that. And so I fell into a deep depression from that, man. I was real fucked up in the head behind that one. Didn't feel like myself no more. It took me a long, long time to crawl out of that.
If you had to describe your rock bottom after the accident, what did those days look like for you?
Man, shutting off from the world. Wasn't going nowhere no more. Wasn't going outside. Didn't get my hair cut. Didn't buy myself no clothes. Wasn't trying to date no women. Wasn't doing none of the same stuff that I used to do. I was just sit in the house all day, every day, and just do nothing.
You first fell in love with the camera back in Iraq. What do you remember about picking up a camera in a war zone?
Well, Doc Williams was the first one I saw with a camera. He was the one taking all the best pictures for real. So once I seen him with the camera, that made me want to go get a camera. And so once I got my camera, I started taking pictures. And I was actually a little good at taking pictures. So from that day on, I've always owned a camera. From the time I bought one in 2008, I've always owned a camera. I didn't really see it as a profession or nothing like that. It was more of a hobby to me.
After the accident, what pulled you back towards filmmaking instead of just shutting down?
Filmmaking was never really something that I wanted to do. I had bought the camera to take pictures of what I was seeing on the road. And when I came home, my mom was having a party. And so, for whatever reason, I just wanted to film the party. And I filmed the party, and I decided to edit it all together. And it actually turned out pretty good. And it was something that I enjoyed doing. It wasn't none that I was looking to make a profession out of it, but I just saw that I was good at it, and I just stuck with it. And over time, I just began to grow a love for it, and here I am.
How did filming and editing become therapy for you?
It was a way to take me out of my own head. It would make me focus on something else, to think about something else. So ever since I was a kid, I always enjoyed puzzles. So editing sort of felt like putting together a puzzle for me. So it just felt like it was so natural. It just felt like home for me.
When did the idea for veteran stories show up? And what problems were you trying to solve for other vets?
So the way veteran stories came about is, like I said, I've spoken about them a million times on here, but it's because of Bustos. I never really wanted to even do a veteran stories. It mostly just made itself because, like I said, when I was a private and hearing about the things that Bustos did over there, it was amazing to me. And, you know, he never really got any recognition for that. And I wanted to do anything I can to get his story heard. And from me telling his story, or him telling his story through me, it's made other veterans feel like they want to tell their stories as well. And as we're doing it, it feels like a therapy session for all of us, you know, feel like a weight being lifted off of us. So once I saw that, it just clicked like, you know, maybe some of the dudes that we knew in the military that killed themselves, if they just could have talked to one of us, maybe things would have went different. So I just figured talking can always solve problems. So I'm just trying to extend that to all other veterans that feel like they got something on their mind that they just need to let it out.
Thanks. Okay, talk about recording and uploading that very first episode. How nervous were you, and how did it feel to hit publish?
I wouldn't say I'm so much of nervous. It was more of how would people really take it? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make it seem like I'm super soldier or I'm the veteran. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just a regular dude like everybody else. But, you know, we can't complain about something and do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I took from the military. Like, complaining is not going to do anything. So if we complaining that 22 veterans killed themselves a day, what are we really doing about it? So this is what I'm doing about it.
At what point did you realize this podcast just wasn't content? It might actually save lives.
Probably after the first episode when I did it with Bustos, because I felt so relieved. Like I enjoyed, like me and Bustos probably talked 3.5 hours, and I enjoyed every minute of it. It just felt like a relief to me, because I was probably still in that dark depression at that point until I started doing that. You know what I'm saying? And once I started talking to him and communicating, it just felt like old times again. And I just started to feel good as I'm doing it, you know?
You've talked about regrets around relationship and fatherhood. What are you comfortable sharing about that on camera?
Okay, I say that not having a relationship with them has probably done the most damage to me than anything. Because more than anything, I've wanted a relationship with them. I've never wanted to be a not present father. I may have not wanted to be in a relationship with their mothers, but I've always wanted to be there for them. And just not being able to do that, you know, as soldiers, we bury a lot, but you know, that's one thing I've have buried for so long, but you know, it's one thing that's been killing me at the same time too, because I want nothing more than a relationship with my kids, and you know, not being able to have that, it's probably done a lot of damage to me. I'm pretty sure it has.
How much do you think the tempo of the Army and Department shaped the father and partner you were back then?
I'm not gonna say it was so much of the tempo. I'm not gonna even blame the Army. I'm gonna just blame myself because I was just immature at that time. I didn't really understand what fatherhood meant, so I just didn't take it serious at that time. It had nothing to really do with the Army, even though I was away. I just figured that moms are supposed to take care of the kids and dads are supposed to go get the money. So I was just looking at it in that perspective, but yeah, that wasn't the way to go.
If your kids sit down one day and watch this entire episode, what do you want them to hear from their father?
Well, I want them to hear that it's never been a point in their life that I never wanted to be there. You know what I'm saying? Since the day they was born, I've always wanted to be there for them. I want them to know I'm a real stand-up guy and I really care about them. I love them. I actually need them for real, because I just feel like I'm missing a big part of myself by not having that relationship with them. So if they do hear this, I want them to understand what type of person I am, and I want them to give me the chance to salvage what we can with our relationship.
What does accountability look like for you now as a man trying to grow and repair what he can?
Looks like me taking responsibility for my half for what I could have controlled at the time. I should have fought harder. I can't really blame their moms for the way they act. All I can do is say what I should have done, and I know I should have done more. The younger version of me, I didn't take fatherhood as serious as I do now because I understand the importance of having a father. Not only just having a father, but a female having a father.
What has forgiveness of others and of yourself looked like so far?
Some things I can forgive, some things I can't forgive. Like being robbed of a relationship with my kids, that is something that I cannot forgive people for because I can never get that time back. You know what I'm saying? Never get that time back. No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, I can never get those times back. I can never see my kids' first steps, or their first words, their first day of school, their first time liking a boy, like their favorite cartoon, what's their favorite color. Like, I can never get none of that back. So I cannot forgive for that. But I accept what I did and the role I played in, you know, making a lot of that happen.
Okay, so when did you first realize you were dealing with PTSD and depression, not just having a bad day?
Probably when I came home from the hospital from being in that accident. Like, I always knew something was wrong because I was always angry, and my anger would be more like rage. Like, I would rage, you know what I'm saying? So I always knew something was there, but once I got in the accident, you know, I fell into a way deeper, darker place that I had never been before. So that's when I really knew, like, during my accident.
Describe your darkest periods, the version of you never want to go back to.
Again, it's with the accident. It was a life-changing moment, you know what I'm saying? I had lost all confidence in myself. Stopped caring about stuff even more. I already didn't care about much, but now I really don't care about much. Man, like those beginning days when I first had the accident, bro, I was in a real dark place. I didn't want to talk to people. I had attitude with everybody. I was snapping out at everybody. Just wanted to be left alone, and I would just be sitting by myself for days and just soaking in it, you know what I'm saying?
Did you ever question whether it was worth being here? What pulled you back from the edge?
Yeah, after my accident, I questioned, like, why would God leave me here like that, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather not live than be living with 1.5 hands. You know what I'm saying? That's how I was feeling for a while. Man, and those thoughts just got more and more and more present in my mind. You know what I'm saying? To where it was like, bro, it was becoming scary. You know what I'm saying? To the point that if it wasn't for people like my boy Paul being able to talk to him, my boy Petey being able to talk to him and like really tell them how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? And they can relate to me to pull me back off that edge. What kept me from doing it it's the lack of me having a relationship with my kids, because I have to have a relationship with them. I can't leave them like that, you know what I'm saying, without them ever knowing me. So that's what pulled me back.
What has actually helped you? Therapy, VA medication, the gym, faith, filmmaking, community, this podcast.
I want to say more than anything, it was other veterans that helped me. You know, guys that can relate to me. And that helped me more than anything. But filmmaking gave me something to do to take my mind off of the dark thoughts that I was having on a regular basis. So those two.
What would you say right now to a veteran watching this who feels exactly how you used to feel? Tired, broken, and ready to give up?
I say find a reason to want to live. We shouldn't base life off temporary situations, because it can be like this today and different tomorrow. So I just say find a reason to live, and if you need somebody to talk to, you can always reach out to me and I'll talk to you however long you want to talk. Yeah, just find a reason, bro.
So when you look at the teenager in trouble, the infantryman in Sadr City and Kuwa, and the man now, what surprises you the most about your own story?
That I'm still here.
What do you want veteran stories to become for the veteran community in the next 3 years?
I want it to be a place where veterans feel comfortable enough to tell their stories, tell their truths, their experiences. And it's to be the place that long after we're gone, our grandkids coming to look at our stories and hearing our stories. I want this to be the place that lives on long after all of us are gone.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave for your daughters, your family, in that small Illinois town you came from?
Honestly, I just want to be somebody that they can say they're proud of.
If you can talk to 18-year-old Greg right before he signed his contract, what would you tell him?
I'd probably tell him to listen. Listen to everything you're being told, because you're getting some real good game. Like, I remember when I was a young private, somebody told me, like, hey man, you should start putting away, $100 a month into a Roth IRA. And by the time you get out in 20 years, you can have $1 million. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hear him at the time because I didn't really understand. But if anything, I would listen, because I had a lot of opportunities that I squandered away. So if I could tell my 18-year-old self anything, I'd say listen and take that advice.
That's what's up. For everybody who's been rocking with this show since episode 1, what do you want to say to them right here at the end of your very own story?
I just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching, everybody that's subscribed, everybody that's waiting on the episode. A special thank you to the veterans that are willing to be open and vulnerable and to come on here and tell their stories. I just appreciate that. I'm not a super soldier. I'm not the soldier. I'm not the representation of all soldiers. I'm just a soldier. Like we all are. We all come from different walks of life, but we all did the same thing. And that sign on the dotted line, raised our right hand and served our country.
If you've made it this far, thank you for sitting with Greg's story. He didn't share all of this for sympathy. He shared it because there's a kid out there who grew up like he did, a soldier who's seen what he's seen, or a veteran who feels like their best chapters are behind them, and they need to know they're not alone. Greg is still a work in progress. He's still figuring out family, healing, purpose, all of it. But he's here. And if you're watching this, you're here too. That means there is still time to write a different ending. If this episode hit you in any way, share it with another veteran or a family member. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. not just for numbers, but so these stories keep reaching the people who need them. And if you're struggling with PTSD, depression, or thoughts of ending your life, please talk to somebody. Call a friend. Call the VA. Call a crisis line in your country. You are not weak for asking for help. Every soldier has a story.
Thanks, Greg, for joining me. This has been Veteran Stories, and until next time.